Welcome, everyone. My name is Anujo Kennan. I am the Program Quality Director for District 2, and I am so excited to have this training for club coaches because club coaches really help those struggling clubs really bring them back to life and become thriving and striving throughout and really supporting their members. And to teach us how to be better club coaches, we have the amazing Region 1 Rose Kirland here today to conduct our training. And so a little bit about Rose, if you are not familiar with her, she's been a Toastmaster for over 15 years. She has held many leadership positions in Toastmasters, including District Director 2017 to 2018. Her key to happiness is nothing in life is more precious than life itself. So stop waiting for the perfect moment to do something. Instead, make every moment perfect and just do it. And that's what we're going to do here today. And then just a little bit more background on Rose. At just 16, Rose Kirland stepped out of her comfort zone to manage her aging parents' financial affairs. This challenge taught her that staying within our comfort zones can limit new experiences and growth. Embracing this lesson, Rose fostered resilience that propelled her career to vice president at a conglomerate financial institution and into significant Toastmasters leadership roles. Please give a warm welcome to Distinguished Toastmaster and Region 1 Advisor, Rose Kirland. Hand it off to you, Rose.
Thank you so much, Anu, and welcome everyone to Lunch and Learn. We're going to have an interactive time. That's just the way I like to roll, and I hope you're all good with that. It's so nice to see District 96 and District 9 here, members here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's start off, first of all, by me getting to know you, because as we know in Toastmasters, knowing your audience is very critical, very important. And that's part of being a coach. When you're going to be a coach for a club, you need to get to know them. So shall you just be assigned to any club? No. If you know and notice that a club is struggling, maybe you'll want to visit them on your own. Get to build a relationship, get to see what it's like there, the dynamics, so that when they request for a coach, guess what? You're ready, set to go. I am going to share my screen, and what we'll do is that break in between on some of those screen shares so that we can talk among each other. But just very quickly, I would like to hear from each of you just one word about what you think coaching will bring to you in your life, how you feel this might enrich you. So why don't we start, even if your camera is off, you can voice with one word, just one word, so it'll go really quick. It's actually better than speed dating, if you've ever been on one of those. So we'll start first of all with Donna. Donna, one word.
Still listening.
Wonderful. How about you, Peter?
Communicating.
Awesome. And Johanna?
Encouraging.
Ah, yes, Sarah.
Growth.
Tracy.
I'm going with empathy.
Ah, yes. And I have, if I pronounce this incorrectly, I apologize. Anand?
You pronounced it right. I am looking for motivation.
Awesome. How about for Sherry?
Inspiration.
Inspiration. Maria?
Gonna go with growth also.
Ah, yes. How about Lisa?
Challenge.
Challenge, yes. And Lewis, Bill Lewis, rather.
Responsibility.
How about Marty? Welcome, Marty.
Thank you. Collaboration.
Ah, yes. And Kimiko?
Yes. Understanding.
Understanding. Megan?
Improvement.
Ah. Harrow?
Competence.
Okay. Yes. And Roxanne, you have just come in. Let me just share with you, everyone is giving one word of how coaching could enrich your life. Roxanne, one word.
Exciting,
Exciting, wonderful. So we've all heard from each other that each of us have something very special and unique that pops right into our mind almost immediately or after a few seconds of a thought process. This is how members are. What's in it for them? When you help and volunteer to become a coach for a club, think that when you mention that one word, somebody in the other side is thinking of one word too that's in it for them. So knowing all of that and sharing all of that with each other, and it will be on the recording, so if you missed it and you want to hear it again, it will be shared so that you can hear all of the many different things that matter to us when we are in the process of learning. And learning, as my mom would often say, is an investment. You know, growing up with 15 brothers and sisters, one of the things we hated to do was getting up early in the morning and walking many, many steps to school. And she would always say to us, every time you go to school, think of it as another penny earned. Every time you go to school, think of it as another penny earned. Every time we learn something here, we are accumulating so many golden nuggets and pennies that we don't even realize sometimes how rich we are because we have taken this opportunity and time to invest in expanding our knowledge, our growth. So let me share my screen. You know, it is Zoom, so we do have to give a little timing to sharing the screen. So hold on one moment while I get set up here. But also, if you have anything that's burning in your mind that you just have to get answered, please drop it in the chat because Anu will be watching the chat for me. Yes, Anu? And so she can interrupt me if she says, hey, there's something that we need to cover before we move on. Please feel that you can do that. So now let me just share my PowerPoint. And I promise you, you will not have death by PowerPoint slides today. All right, here we go. We are in the club coach mode, and we're going to cover a few objectives. And one of them is, or three of them are, why a club coach is needed. And we saw from this little brief exercise that you know what it brings to you and now what it will bring to others. Club coach and club qualifications is something that's very important because for those of you that have not yet leaped into this opportunity, there are some qualifications to becoming a club coach. And we will share among each other, those who have already experienced being a coach in the past and in the new system, how to be a more effective club coach. Now, why do we need club coaches? These are some of the popular, usual answers. It's because we want to help our fellow Toastmasters, low member clubs to reach their potential because we all know that potential is big. It can stretch for miles and miles, but sometimes we need a little help. Sometimes we need a hand to reach out and pull you up there or reach out and be behind you to keep helping you not fall back. Why else do we need club coaches? Train club officers to be productive in leading their clubs. Many times, clubs that are struggling are because the club officers don't quite get it about what their role is. So you will help them along that. And understanding how a quality club can do the biggest thing that we all love, and that is gain more members, attract new members, and also assist in developing action plans to aid the club to grow and thrive. So now what I want to do here is stop the share and ask maybe for one or two persons to just voice by raising your hand or unmuting. What other thing could you add to why it's so important to have club coaching? Anyone? I see Anand. Anand, go ahead. And then I see Sarah.
I had a question more than because this is my first time as a coach. I was wondering if a coach can also be a sponsor to a club, or does it only have to be a mentor who's a sponsor?
Okay, so a sponsor, thank you for that question. It's a very good question. A sponsor is for new clubs, and a mentor is for new clubs. When it comes to that capacity of gaining leadership credit in the Toastmaster organization towards your distinguished Toastmaster achievement. However, clubs should have mentors for new members, for members that are maybe struggling a little bit. You can have that. You are not going to get the distinguished Toastmaster leadership credit, but you're going to get so much more because you're helping your fellow members. So it is encouraged that every club have mentors for others. It's also encouraged that you be a club sponsor. Existing clubs, when you bring in a new member and that application says, who referred you? And it says Anan, if you get more than 5 referrals, you are club sponsors, you will receive a really nice pin and acknowledgement letter from Toastmasters International saying thank you for your personal sponsorship. Thank you for letting the rest of the world know that it's so valuable to be part of a club. So yes, mentoring and sponsoring within the club is so important. I'd encourage that you talk with your club officers about maybe having a speaker come in and share that. Your program quality director may have a team that could send someone, if time allowed, to speak for 5 to 7 minutes just on how you can formulate that growth through club sponsor and mentor. I hope that answers your question, Anand.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome. Sarah, you would like to share about adding to the reasons we should have a club coach in our midst?
Of course. Yes, I think a club coach can also be very inspiring to a club and can show them the value that just one additional person in their meetings can make. As a VP of membership in my own club, I can see how investing in each person and their individual goals can really make a big difference. And even though the coach doesn't join the club, them being an encouraging, positive presence in their meetings can really just be a huge sigh of relief and inspiration to continue on and add more members. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And we'll take one more before we go on. Roxanne, did you want to share?
Yes, one of the things about being a coach also is it's a unique thing. You go in and you listen and you discover what the people in that club are wanting and needing. Don't go in with an agenda. You go in there to discover together and add some resources they may not know about, but together it is how it can change the momentum dramatically. As Sarah was pointing out, just your enthusiasm and being there, but the opportunity to really, I'm a retired midwife. So you folks, anytime you're going to take the time to connect with someone, it is a win-win.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for those shares, Anand, Sarah, and Roxanne. So now we will continue on with this. This is the part that I love the most. When I originally did this back in December, on December 17th, I showed what this district was doing as far as membership statistics at that time. It's really important that we understand the health of our membership because these are opportunities where you can make an impact. Now, these numbers reflect the current state of the clubs as of December 16, which was only a month ago, approximately. While many clubs are thriving in this district and are exceeding charter strength, which is a testament to the dedication of members and leaders, there's a unique opportunity, don't you agree? For everyone to have an impact where it's needed most. So here, back in December, we saw that 30 clubs had fewer than 12 members. We saw that 11 clubs were holding steady at 8 is great. That is the minimum requirement to have a eligible active club. And then we saw 8 clubs with fewer than 8 members, and 4 clubs are currently suspended, but untapped potential. So these numbers do not tell a story of decline. Let's make it perfectly clear that this is not a story of decline. It reveals a chance for growth and an opportunity for transformation, that every club represents an opportunity to reignite energy, to attract new members, and to build towards charter strength. So by stepping up as club coaches, we can provide that. We can provide the mentorship, guidance, and encouragement that clubs need. What's interesting is that yesterday, according to the dashboard, we have major improvements. So congratulations, District 2 and all of the supporters who have contributed to energizing and igniting success. And so all the numbers have improved here. We've jumped up as far as club members, lowered where it comes to needing some. And so this is where it's so great to be a club coach, because you can change the trajectory of a club and you can empower its members to thrive. I want to pause here for a little bit and just share one brief story. I was on the airplane back home from Dallas to Maui. I live in Hawaii, by the way. And don't worry, you'll be able to visit here one of these days, because there's always an invitation open to all of you. But when I was on my way back, a gentleman across the way, I was in the aisle seat and so was he, says to me, "Oh, I didn't mean to overhear, but I heard you speaking with someone, and where did you learn to speak so well?" So people are always eyes on you. You know that thing where they say, "I'm watching you." And I thought to myself, oh, I hope I didn't say anything nasty. And that led me into saying I was a Toastmaster. And it's because I was a Toastmaster that I've learned how to organize my thoughts and think before I speak. And he said, "Wow, that's amazing. May I find out how I can join Toastmasters?" So there you have it. You just never know. Every day you're going to be helping your club that you sign up to coach bring in more members, because then you can run back and say, "Guess what? Guess what? I gave your club name to someone and I'm going to keep following up." So that's the key. Follow up and follow through. Follow up and follow through, because if a person is that interested, we are responsible to be sure we follow up with that person, aren't we? Yes? So tell me if you've had a story in your life, let's hear from 2 different people, that had a similar situation like that you actually attracted someone to become interested or join Toastmasters. Anyone would like to share? Sherry?
Well, I'm part of a corporate club, and I always promote it as not just improving your speaking skills, but making connections across the organization. Because when you work in a department, we have 7,000 employees across the province. How are you going to meet all those people? And Toastmasters is a place where we bring people together and we get to know so many new people and make those connections, right?
Yes, wonderful. Thank you for that, Sherry. And on that note, I want to share that I posted a thank you in social media today about how Toastmasters, I'll get to you in just a minute, Donna, of how Toastmasters has changed my circle, has changed my life. That one of the best highlights of this journey of Toastmasters is that we've come together as strangers, but yet we leave and go beyond and onward as friends, sometimes lifelong friends. That's so powerful in Toastmasters. Do you know how many people get to a point in their life where they're wondering, Where is everybody? I don't have a whole lot of connections. Toastmasters is a great place to start. Donna, one last share, and then we'll go back to the share screen.
Thank you. Thank you, Rose. First off, I completely agree with you, Rose. Toastmasters has changed my life, bar none. But back to your point about a shared story. About 3 or 4 years ago, I haven't seen the fellow since, but at the local Safeway store where I regularly shop, at that point, I had been good friends with the head meat manager at that particular store, Safeway store. And he had shared with me recently that at that time that he had just recently been divorced. And he was looking for new and safe ways of connecting with others to gain more confidence for himself, make new connections, and ultimately new friends. And previous to that conversation I speak of, I had been toting off and on the virtues of Toastmasters and the way that it can help with your speaking, regardless of your career path. And he was really energized that day whenever I mentioned to him about that I'm a Toastmaster. I explained to him that it was regionally local here in the Seattle area. And he was really energized about it. I gave him some specifics as far as Toastmasters.org and the idea about going over and finding a club. At that point, that was literally the last time that I seen that fellow. So because he moved off into to another store, but he was really, really energized. And I felt so good about being able to share the positivity, the changes that Toastmasters can make in your life, not only for your career, but your connections, your friendships.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk.
Thank you so much, Donna. Yes, that is a wonderful share, and we've all done it. So when you're coaching a club, think that, hey, how did I share the word? So that when you're coaching your club members, you can help them trigger some insights that they may already have, but maybe put in the back burner about, yeah, I should let so-and-so know because this would be a great help to that person. So back to my share. Let's go on here. We will cover a few more things. So now this is what is so wonderful about a coach. When you become a coach, Toastmasters International sends you the Club Coach pin. Please do wear it with pride. You'll be, as we have just shared, build rapport with people. You'll have a chance to test your skills about how well you observe and analyze. You'll be able to help the club develop growth. This could be a project management project for you if you're in the project management circle. And you'll be there, the cheerleader, the mentor, the coach in per se, but you'll be helping so many people enable them to achieve. We say in the business world, that's enabling empowerment. You bring enthusiasm, but yet you give them a sense of responsibility because it's your sense of responsibility to share a good thing. My mom raised most of us because my father took ill when he was very young. So most of our years we were raised by my mom. So oftentimes we'd hear things from my mom and she would say repeatedly, we are a community, and it is our responsibility as fellow humans to each other in our community to help each other rise, to help each other achieve. And through that sense of responsibility, we gain so much more from it. I'm always so thrilled when someone tells me about their successes. I get elated and excited when I hear how every day someone was impacted and we made a difference on their life. And I'm sure someone in your life, at some point of your life, made a difference and impacted you in a way that took you on a path that was a better experience for you. So we want to help, as a coach, we want to help the club restore quality of member experience. You know, finding out why maybe people are leaving, so that we can turn that around, because there's always a yin and a yang, a plus and a minus. If people are leaving, we need to know why, how to get them back. So there's a leave, come back, leave, come back. So those are the kind of things that you'll have an opportunity to do. And again, as we have mentioned and shared with each other, so many opportunities. You'll learn how to work as a team. I never really grew up in team sports, because by the time it came around to me, I was number 13 or 15. My brothers and sisters were too tired of me tagging along. So I never really grew up with team sports, but I did grow up watching a team in action, because I was their water girl, bringing around the water. It will help us expand our leadership experience, not only for ourselves as a coach, but for your members, because everyone is a leader within. It's just that we haven't been able to unlock those skills if we're not given the opportunity. Definitely will help you in being a better negotiator. Mid-year training, we had the trio, which are your district leaders, district director, program quality director, and club growth director, go to mid-year training just a few days ago in Dallas, where they learned about communication. That to be a better facilitator and negotiator, you have to be open to perspectives of someone else. We had the example of the beach ball, right? Roxanne, Sherry, Anu, and the beach ball. Have you ever seen those? They have different colors. They look like a pinwheel, right? On one side of the beach ball, you might see red, blue, and green. But Donna may be looking at the same beach ball that I'm looking at, but she may see orange, white, and yellow. We have different viewpoints, different perspective, learning to be diplomatic. And at the same time, you're the guru. Everyone's looking up to you. Oh my gosh, you're the expert in this. This will help our members know that their investment in Toastmasters is a good one, and that they're in the right place. And of course, you have the opportunity, when all is said and done, to earn credit towards your Toastmasters award. But it is not the only thing. The biggest and best thing about it is that whether your club coaching brings the club to distinguished status or not, that you show, just as we had shown this graph earlier, little steps of improvement, because through those steps, we make bigger leaps and bigger leaps. Let's get down to the requirements. This is the nit-grit of being a coach. Toastmaster that is not a member of the assigned club may be a coach. You have to be an active member for 1 year and must have served as a club officer in your own club for at least 1 year. You have to have completed level 2 in a path. You must complete club coaching training, which Anu, your program quality director, Sherry is a program quality director for her district, can share with you where that is, how to get started on club coaching training. Not only you, but the club officers of the club that wants to get a coach will also go through club coaching training. Again, you cannot not only not be a member of that club that you choose to coach, but you cannot currently be coaching another club. We really want you to give your best that you can. So if you're coaching 5 clubs, you're stretched out too thin. So 1 club at a time, and you must serve 6 months minimum as a club coach. Now, the club requirements, as I mentioned earlier, it's not only the club coach, you, but also the club itself. The club coach needs to have at least 3 to 12 members in good standing. That means they paid their dues. Coach has not been a member of that club for the past 6 months. So let's say that Anand, you were a member of a club, but 6 months ago, you left there, so now you're eligible to be a club coach of that club if you wanted to, because you have not been a member for at least the past 6 months. Club officers, as I mentioned earlier, must complete the club coach training module as well. And the club is currently not suspended. Not suspended means that you have not paid, the club has not paid its dues for 2 renewal periods. Okay, and there's a whole new system to help that club get reinstated. So if you happen to be part of or know or are close to a club that just got suspended or has been suspended, you can work with your district leaders, district director, program quality, club growth director, whoever the appropriate direction sends you regarding how you can help that club get reinstated. So now that was a lot about what we need to do, right? Or how we qualify for this assignment. That was a lot to do, but know that it's practical. It makes sense, right? Okay, so now this is the part that I love, the connection. I heard it so many times today. I love that. When you now have passed your club coach training and the club itself has done that as well, these are the things that help to make your club better. And that is one for you, how we started off today. Observe the club dynamics. What's the dynamics in this room? How is it? Whether it's virtual or in person. And rapport. I shared with someone at district leaders at mid-year training the other day, I shared with one of the leaders that people join oftentimes because of you, your experience. Because why? Why do you think they joined because of you? Would anyone like to share that hasn't had an opportunity to share yet? Any idea? Peter, yes. Why do you think I would join because of you?
If someone has seen the growth in others, they may want to go to where that growth occurred.
Exactly. I witnessed it. I'm like, what happened to you, Peter? You were the shy kid in our class. Things like that. Exactly. That's wonderful. One other person would like to share? Yes? All right. How about Megan? I think she came on and she went off. Would you like to share?
Yes, I think it's a kind of a brand because people see your growth and the way you're talking, you present yourself, then people want to, oh, I want to become a person in this perspective like you. So
Yeah.
that's the reason I think people will join the club because of you, and also you have other connections can give them other resource to them for them to grow in the future.
Yes, thank you so much, both of you, for that share. Yes, it's the rapport that you already have with them. It's the growth that they see developing in you. And the biggest factor is trust. Trust is big. Yes, Anu.
I want to note that Ram mentioned in the chat that they appreciate that a member may relate their scenarios with an existing member to look up to.
Oh, wonderful, Shara. Thank you so much for that. So making the club the best it can be, some of the suggestions are observe the dynamics and work within that, build your personal rapport with members. And this is why oftentimes when I used to sign up to want to be a club coach, I would actually visit different clubs that were challenged to see if they would like me, because the club doesn't have to accept you. They can say, no, we did not want Rose Kirland. Goodbye. So, I try to build up a rapport ahead of time so that when my name comes around, they say, yes, we'll take her. Yay. Okay, so meet with your club presidents or a district director, and so that you can go over the club agreement. There are some basic minimum preliminary reports that you would do within the initial time that you are appointed. But here is the big thing that we just talked about. They've gained trust and respect from you because we say what we do and we do what we say, right? Say what you do and do what you say. So use the Club Coach troubleshooting guide. We have that, and Anna will be putting some links into the chat for you as we progress of resources that you can pick up and review. Okay. Now, making the club connection. We had so much talk about that. Well, here we are. You're fostering a sense of ownership. We emphasize teamwork. We let everyone know that you're here to help, right? That it really matters, that you matter. Encourage clubs to not only be within our own little cell, but expand and use other clubs. And we support with extra addition of our own uniqueness with theirs. And yes, this is when I visited District 2 and had all of this going on, where we had education programs, club visits. So this is something that is really part of fostering that relationship. Club meetings, when you are attending the club meetings, which we know club coaches will be attending club meetings. Be a teacher, help them, teach the club how to plan and how to do quality club meetings. This is where it comes in, where you have to have a sense of humility, because nothing is worse than, here I am in the middle, Joanna is in the middle of speaking as a president, and I interrupt her and say, well, Joanna, presidents don't do that. I mean, how do you think Joanna's going to feel? How do you think you'd feel when I do something like that? Insulted, not great. How do you think you might feel, Johanna? Would you like to share?
Yes, judged and criticized, and just maybe demoralized.
Yes, yes. So think about your words. Think about how you're going to respond to something. Maybe it's not the time during the club meeting. They might have 5 guests that you could have helped scare away, right? So think about that and then have a private time, but have humility, empathy. Empathy is very important because we're all in this together, progressing together. And it's not just about the program, distinguished program. It's not just about the success plan. It's about the fact that we're human and we need to be sensitive to each other. Thank you for sharing with me on that, Joanna. And so now, what do we do as a status check? This is an interesting part of Toastmasters' new club program, and that is have the club, it suggests that, really encourage, please do the moments of truth. Some of us may have never done the moments of truth. That's okay. You can look at it, review it, work with your team leaders. When you are a coach, you are part of a larger group that will help you. Second thing that you want to do is help identify what's strong about the club and what may be the challenge. The challenge could be the time is weird. Who meets at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night? Oh, I forgot. Right. It's because whatever crazy reason, right? So look at the strengths, look at the challenges, and it could be something as simple as that. Facilitation is really big. Have a discussion going. Be a great listener. When we listen more and we have a listening to understand versus a listening to defend, you will make miles in the growth path, miles. And let me share with you a little bit as I stop this share. I had a sister, whenever she would say, okay, what's the problem? And before we could even finish, she already had all her answers coming at us. And I'm thinking to myself as I grew up later, boy, she had an issue. She was always defending. So the thing about it is that we get better at helping others get better when we listen to really understand where they're coming from, what's going on with them. That's what's involved in club coaching. So when you're with your club members in the coaching, think about these things that your district leaders can share with you if they want to, a video about perceptives. Think about maybe something is going on in their day that they're not getting it from you because they're preoccupied with something. So what's going on with them that day? This is why so many of us, when we are counseling or coaching, we usually say, how's your day going? Right? And someone will say, lousy. And we'll say, okay, thank you. And we move on, right? That is not the way. The way is lousy, okay. Anything you want to share, they may or may not want to share, but they may share it. And that will give you a better sense of empathy of what they're going through, which will help you determine, is this a time or not good time to say what I was about to share? Okay, so it takes a work in progress, but you are not alone because your leaders, your club growth, your program quality, and district director teams of members, just like you and I, are here to help each other because we all understand one thing. We're not perfect and we're not expected to be perfect. We are, though, on a road of progression, and we are hopefully all on that same page that we want to continue to progress. So I just wanted to share that bit with you. What I'm sharing with you are not necessarily what's in the book of coaches, right? Sarah's giggling about that because the book of coaches just pretty much has do this, do that, etc. But in order to really succeed, we have to be in with each other, where each other trusts each other, and we know we're moving in progression towards the right way. So we complete the club coach progress report 60 days after you're appointed, and every 60 days until your assignment is concluded. It could be something very simple. New member, great progress, right? So these are some of the things that you will want to do when you are a club coach. Of course, there is credit. Everyone is always saying, well, how do I get credit for doing this role? Well, your paycheck is as follows. If you have served for at least 6 months and your club goes to become distinguished or better by June 30, and you've given at least 6 months now and your reporting requirements, we're not going to slap you on your hand if you forget to report one of the 60 days, but there is a written confirmation of completion, then you will get your club coach credit, which is credited towards your application to become a distinguished Toastmaster. But there's a bonus. There's a big bonus, and that is a club coach who additionally helps the club get to 20 charter strength membership will receive district leadership credit. So if you maybe didn't have a chance to serve as an area director or a division director, you will get that credit because you not only help your club be distinguished, but you help your club become charter strength distinguished of 20 members or 20 paid members or more. How's that feel? Pretty good, huh? Yeah. All right. So now I think I am on my last share, so I will stop this share. That, as we say in the peanut gallery, is a wrap. That is what coaching, becoming a coach is all about. So now I would like to open it up to about maybe 5 to 7 minutes of any questions. This is your time to ask and share, and be mindful that we'd like to be sure everyone has an opportunity to ask and share. Donna, go ahead. You're right there.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you. First of all, great training so far today. This has been fantastic. I have a question from coming from two different times of being assigned as a club coach. So I have a little bit of experience under my belt. And so the question I have relates to that. And I'm wondering about ways that hopefully once that I get assigned again as a club coach, ways that I can empower, suggested ways on ways that I can empower the club officers to implement positive changes that we as a group work towards to improve their club. Because I have encountered in the past resistance that, once that I practiced great listening, that we've worked through together some scenarios, some solutions, and basically they at least appear to go along with those suggested changes. Whenever it comes down to actually implementing those changes, I usually get resistance. And so I'm curious, I don't know if that's just, maybe a problem with my communication style or what have you, or planning strategies, but I'm just wondering about of ways to suggest of how to work through that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that question, Donna. And this is a real thing. This is real life. You get into a club, you do all the things that you should be doing, you're helpful, and then it comes for action and there's no show, right? So this is a real thing. So what happens is that every club in the new system has to want to succeed. So that's the first hurdle. In the past, when we assigned club coaches, there wasn't this commitment from the club members that we want to succeed. So every club in the new system, whether you are assigned as a club coach, has to commit that we want to succeed. In that I want to succeed, it turns into I will succeed. And in that I will succeed, it turns into I will absorb what you're training, what I'm learning, and I will act on it. So in training, we say it's useless to absorb and not act on it. That's what we say among each other. We don't say that to club members, but we want to absorb and act. We want to absorb and apply. So I think you might have a little less resistance this time, Donna, and others who might be fearful of that, because this time the club members must take on the coaching training. They must sign an agreement that they will and want to succeed. I think that will be a good start. Let me know how it goes when you get assigned on that. And I'm always available at the permission of your district director and your trio to guide you along the way on some conversational tips. Hello, Sherry.
Hi, just a couple of things that I might have missed in your presentation. So you talked about doing the club reports, progress
Yes.
reports every 60 days. Did you mention the preliminary report?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I missed that.
Yes.
Sorry. So
No worries.
I'm a club coach and I just finished the preliminary report, but I wanted to follow up on the club coach module training because you were saying that really all the club executives should take that.
Yes.
And I was looking to see, so that's available through Pathways, correct?
That is correct. You are
Okay.
correct, Sherry. That training is in Pathways.
And if the members, so my first challenge is getting the members onto Pathways because the club that I'm coaching, they're not on Pathways. But when they get on Pathways, can they actually do the coaching module without being level 2? Like, can they get it right away?
Yes, the answer
Okay.
is yes.
I want to make
Everyone
sure
can get
that's
it right
available.
away. It's just
Okay.
that to be a coach, you have to have completed level 2.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know one of their members has done the coaching module because that was a requirement for the agreement, but I need to basically get all of the executive to do it. So, okay, that's great. I just wanted to
Okay.
clarify. Thank
Good.
you.
It is not a requirement that all the executives do it, but you will find much better success if everyone is in on the same page. It's like how we set our track to become distinguished as a district. If you're the only one that knows the vision, then you're the only one that's on that track. So everyone should be inclusive on the vision. Marty.
I don't have a question, Rose. I wanted to comment on the question that Donna had and just say that in my experience as a coach, the best way to get action is to give the club the agency to come up with the ideas. You can plant them very surreptitiously, but they have to be the ones that identify that they want to do something. Because if you come in and say, hey, I noticed that you don't greet your guests, that does not necessarily get them to greet their guests. But if you come in and you say, talk to me about how you feel when you walk into a room and you're new and you've never been there before, what might you like to see? And they say, you know, it would be great if someone met me at the door and said, welcome. You're not coming up with the idea. They are, because as soon as they say that, then you can say, I can support you in doing that. What would you like me to do to provide accountability? So that you're guiding them without being prescriptive, because I think that none of us as human beings want to be treated as if we're doing something wrong, because we all know we have good intentions, but good intentions don't always lead to great outcomes. If you get the club to be the director, you're much more likely to get traction with those changes occurring. Thanks.
Thank you so much. That's such a great, great share of these wise wisdom and nuggets of wisdom. We are going to close with Jorge, and then I'm going to ask Anu to share a video about a coach that this video has inspired me all my life, so that since I've seen it. Jorge, really quick, 10 seconds.
Thank you. I just want to thank you, Rose, for your teaching. I always enjoy your talks. And what I learned from your speech today is that, well, I interpret that way, that we should emphasize in the human aspect and not in the numbers. And sometimes we forget that, and we try our members as numbers because we want to try to get some goals. But when we are humans, it's more powerful and it's more easy, I think, to get that goal. Thank you, Rose, for sharing your experience. And thank you, guys, for having me, friends, for having me here.
Gracias, Jorge. Gracias. So everyone, will you give it your best? As a coach, will you keep going, but not give up? Give it your best, because your members will mirror your best. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. Region 1 Advisor Rose Kirland. Back to you, District 2, Anu.
Thank you so much, Rose. That was fantastic. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this training for us. We really appreciated it. And so as my support here with my voice so bad, I'm going to have to transfer this over to our district director, Sarah Ranchler, to help us with share some announcements. But thank you all for taking time on a Friday here. And I will put a link to the feedback form as well, so you can provide us your feedback. So, but again, thank you, everyone, and especially thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Rose. I am happy to fill in to discuss some events that are coming up that you might want to attend, including officer training that continues through the end of February. If you or the clubs you're coaching haven't attended officer training yet, do encourage them to do so. We have a very special officer training option coming up on February 22nd in person at the Golden Gardens Bathhouse. And we will focus that training on membership growth, because we know that that's what all clubs want to do, is grow our members. There is a charge for that, and the early bird price right now is $45 for a full breakfast, or $25 for no food but just beverages and to come and enjoy it. It's a beautiful venue right on the beach. And also, if you haven't planned who is going to be at your contest for your club. Our area contests are coming right up in March. So now is the time to be planning your club contests. If you have any questions, please reach out to myself or Anu or Roxanne. We're all on this call and happy to serve you. Again, thank you for being here today. And don't be a stranger. Let us know how we can help you on this journey. It doesn't end today.